Hello, this is the October Weather and Climate Outlook update for the grain-growing regions of New South Wales and Queensland. This outlook will focus on rainfall and temperature, including frost, in the next weeks and out to January 2024 to support upcoming decisions. The key messages for New South Wales and Queensland, and for September to date, we've seen very much below average rainfall in both states, which is in line with expectations, and we have seen some very high temperatures over the past few weeks. For rainfall, we're continuing to expect to see below median rainfall out towards January 2024. And in terms of temperatures, we're still expecting above median daytime and nighttime temperatures, but frost is still a possibility in the coming weeks. Let's take a look back at what was originally forecast for New South Wales and Queensland for September on the left-hand side, compared to what we did see on the right-hand side. Overall, the expectation was for a drier than median month, and past accuracy was moderate to high, but low for inland areas. And this is what has played out this month so far, with most of the two states recording below median rainfall. For most of New South Wales, it was less than 20% of the monthly rainfall, and some areas will have had one of their driest Septembers on record. We saw less than 5mm through northeast and northwest New South Wales, just 2mm at Narrabri and 5mm at Walgett. Further south, we did see some higher pockets of rainfall, 15mm around the Coonabarabran area, but again further south, less than 5mm for places like Wagga, Hay and Hillston. In Queensland, it was a similar story with less than 5mm for almost all areas, but some pockets of the southeast did see closer to the median rainfall, but these were unfortunately out over the ranges. And some maximum temperatures are also worth pointing out. West Wyalong and Forbes both set records for their hottest September day on record, and many other locations in New South Wales also set early season maximum temperature records this month. Looking now at current soil moisture levels in the top 1 metre, and in both states it continues to be below average to very much below average, and even the lowest 1% for some pockets as well. And this is expected to continue into October with below average soil moisture conditions. Having a look now at New South Wales at the 10-day accumulated rainfall, comparing the EC model on the left-hand side and the Access model on the right-hand side. And we're on the watch for a potential rain event from the 3rd of October, and we do see large model differences which highlight this uncertainty at this stage. The EC model on the left is painting very high totals of above 20mm to the southeast and the southwest of New South Wales, potentially as far north as Dubbo of more than 20mm. On the other hand, Access model on the right-hand side is showing much less than 5mm to the same area, and overall it is difficult to make a firm comment on which model is better representing the rainfall forecast better, so it certainly will be a watch point heading into next week. Looking at Queensland now for the 10-day rainfall totals, and generally looking at light falls across the southwest and the southeast in both models. Unfortunately, not much further north for places like Roma and Emerald, which do look to miss out on some of this lighter falls. For the rest of October, looking now at the chance of exceeding median rainfall, and it is looking to be generally less than 30, even less than 20% in some areas. And we do have very high past accuracy because the further we do go in the calendar year, we do see model performance increasing. So expecting below median rainfall, but how much below median can be demonstrated by comparing these two maps for October. On the left is the October forecast that shows a 50% chance of receiving at least that amount, and on the right-hand side, the historical median. In October, we traditionally see rainfall pick up over southeast Queensland and northeast New South Wales, and that's due to the start of the severe storm season. But thunderstorms are not well captured by climate models, so it's important to remember that local totals can vary dramatically depending on where and when the thunderstorms do form. On the left-hand side, we see the 50% chance of receiving at least 10mm to lie from about St George in Queensland down to about Deniliquin. But in a typical October, the 10mm line should lie much further west out towards places like Cunnamulla, even out towards Broken Hill. And the 25mm mark also lies much further east, as does the 50mm mark. So these maps do give an indication of the deficits we're expecting as a 50% chance. Looking now at November to January and the chance of exceeding median rainfall. We do see that for southwest New South Wales, it is quite low, but similar to previous outlooks, the Access model is showing generally a 40 to 50% chance of exceeding median rainfall. Past accuracy is high, for southern New South Wales, but the further north and inland we go, we do see pass accuracy drop off to less than 55% through parts of inland Queensland there. What we can do is compare the international models. What we're seeing here is a mix of the European, USA, Japanese and Canadian models. And similar to Access, it is showing those white areas through northern New South Wales and southern Queensland. And this could be an indication of low model certainty this far out, and not necessarily that we're expecting medium rainfall. So this will certainly be a watch point heading into the summer. Turning our attention now towards frost, and there is the possibility of an increased chance of frost during the week of the 8th to the 14th of October behind that rain band that's coming through next week. But depending on the timing of that rain event, frost is as early as possible as the 5th of October, which isn't quite shown here, particularly if you have southwest and southeast New South Wales, where minimum temperatures may fall below 2 to 3 degrees. But we could see some of those cold mornings potentially extending into northern New South Wales and southern Queensland as well. So it does indicate that frost is a potential risk heading into the first week or so of October. And these experimental maps can provide a little bit more of guidance as the chance of seeing at least one frost. On the left, the first fortnight of October, and on the right, the fortnight starting the 8th of October. And these maps confirm what we just saw, that frost is still a possibility even heading into warmer months, with a 40 to 70% probability for some parts of the central east and southeast New South Wales, and even up to a 10 to 40% chance probability for other areas as far north as places like Inverell and towards the Queensland border. Looking more broadly now at minimum temperatures out towards December, and it does show that for most of southern Queensland and northern New South Wales, a very high chance of exceeding median minimum temperatures, but then a lower chance the further south you go, so that might be picking up some of that frost risk early in October. And pass accuracy is mixed, generally moderate accuracy for minimum temperatures. Looking now at maximum temperatures, and it does show across the board for both states a very high chance of exceeding median maximum temperatures, and we do have very high accuracy. So it is showing at this stage we are expecting to see some very warm days heading to January 2024. What we can also do is look at the chance of seeing maximum temperatures in the top 20% of historical figures, and for New South Wales and Queensland, it is showing we are 2 to 3 times more likely to see those extreme maximum temperatures, and that's of course what we have already seen the past month with some very high temperatures. That's it for this Grains Climate Outlook. We'd love to hear more from you, so scan the QR code on your screen now, or visit the website listed to fill in a short survey about the video and send through any other feedback. Thanks for watching.